Hey friends, it's David R. Becker with BeckerArt, and today I want to talk to you about gestured people. Gestured people in watercolor. A lot of times we have paintings, and what we want to do is put some people in there, but they're not part of the center of interest so much as they are in the distance, background sketches. I learned this from Robert Wade of Australia, and he called them Bob's Blobs. I call them David's Dabs. It's the same type of thing, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to, through blobs, is make these little people. As you can see up here, I'm going to make those kind of people. And it's not so much that you're drawing, and don't think of them as people, because a lot of times I'm going to show you what I'm going to want you to do, and here's what a lot of my students do, and to show you what they're not doing the right thing. And so I'm just going to show you both ways, all right? And so I'm going to take like my large brush, and the first thing I'm going to do is blobs. Basically, just like it sounds, it is blobs. And so I'm going to take any color, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to take a couple of little blobs here. And basically, I'm just putting blobs down, basically. And these will be the bodies. This will be the torso of the grouping of people, or one person. That could be like one right there. I can just see basically blobs. I'm going to go across, and the lesser the blob, it can be wide. The blob can be high, low. It doesn't matter. The blob. It's basically what it said. It's a blob, and so I'm just taking different colors and just pushing down my brush, right? And so that's what I had done in my classes. And here's what many of my students did after I told them to do something like this. They would go in, make blobs, and they would do such. So what they were trying to do is trying to do the torso, and so they'd go in here and make each individual person, and they just basically go like this, right? And then they put two, and so their blobs were very organized. And I don't want you to make it organized, just almost, even if it have to spatter, just whatever. You just don't want to make it so perfect. Like here again, this is what you guys will maybe do. And so what they do is you're putting them, you're doing different colors. And you're just putting a blob down so perfect, and you're lining them up and everything. Like it's almost like this going to be shot in in a line, whatever. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take and do some characteristic legs. And so I'm going to take some darker colors, and they're going to be about the length of the blob, and some shorter, some longer. And what I'd like to do is some pull method where you're pushing down and you flick up. You kind of just flick. And see how this is about the same size as the blob. And you can go even longer than the blob. And so push and then flick. Or you can go the opposite way. You go thin, take it thin and make it thin, and then just push down in your brush. And that's going to be the legs. But see, what you're going to guys want to do is, what you guys do is go like this, and you put little lines down there to make legs, and you're trying to do too much of this, or you try to make each person. And I'm not doing each individual person. I'm just doing a grouping. Here maybe is one person. And so I'll just go like that. And so I'm just really quickly flicking my brush. I'm not trying to make it. If you're going to do the center of interest person or people in your painting, then yes, you're drawing it up. But these are just gestured. So like for the background, and the painting we're doing this week, Thursday night, will be a lot about a lot of these. Though there are a lot of people in the picture that you can just trace, and that'd be fine. But in the very far distance, you can do things like this. And this is just a good practicing to learn how to gesture figures. Again, I'm just going to bring these down, and see how it's like a flick. I'm just flicking it downwards, and I'm not looking to paint and draw like exactly what I see. I'm just basically doing a fast little thumbnail of practicing how to do legs. And see, that's pushing up. Pulling down is a little bit different. When you pull down, it gets kind of textury because you're doing it quickly. When you're going upwards, it kind of goes slow. And so I'm just going to do a little bit longer. And I'm not looking to see how many people are there. I'm just randomly putting legs on these blobs. And so basically, and that's basically what Robert Wade had taught me, is not to think of it as putting down the legs exactly. It's just a carrot stick, right? It's a carrot stick. When you do something from a picture, then yes, you're going to be doing it. But this is just made up. This is made up stuff. So we're not trying to copy something. We're trying to make it look like something that we have seen. It's just these blobs are going to become people, and we're just going to see what happens. And so then I'll put heads on them, and I don't put it right above. Like a lot of times I put it over to the side a little bit, and some I won't even connect. This guy looks like he has a parka on, so that's, I'm just going to do that. And so you look at your blob and kind of determine where maybe this little dot will be. And then the heads will be basically the dots. And here, this person's really tall, and so I'm just going to, maybe there's a lot more people there. Maybe this one's got the head on the side. A lot of times it's not, don't put it right above all this blob. Sometimes over to the side a little bit. This guy's in the back here. And then the little blob for the head. And then once you got these, like the head and the legs and the torso, then it already looks like grouping of people. Then you can kind of look into that and go, okay, I'm going to take my smaller brush, and I'm going to see what I can see into the blob. Like, what can I put in there? And what do people, like, when they're walking down the street, start visualizing what they're wearing, what they have. Do they have a backpack on? Do they have a purse? Most ladies have purses hanging over their shoulder. So you can just do that. Here I'm just going to put like on the side, and maybe this person is one person here, and maybe this person is waving, and waving. And then let's see, what else can we do? We're going to put, maybe this person has a dress on and just waving. Okay, so you're just looking at the blobs and kind of making something up out of the blob. And that's where it's good to, maybe this person has a vest on, maybe make the legs a little bit darker than the top. It's fun to do this. It's like you're making little stories. You're making little stories of these little blobs. Here I'll put little stripes on this, and maybe make the legs a little bit darker. And this, maybe there's a bicycle over here. That this person's got a bicycle, and some of them are walking towards it, some of them are walking away. You can put different darkness for the like the back of the head, like maybe you just see the hair, and maybe this whole grouping has like two umbrellas. You're gonna make like an umbrella right here, and this person's got a smaller umbrella in the back. You're just making stuff up. And if you want to take and make kind of copy some of the grouping is, go on Google and just type grouping of people walking down the street, and go to the images and just kind of see what people are wearing, what they're doing when they're walking. And like it says, maybe all these people have bags. They went shopping, so let's say put some bags in their hands. And so now, look how fast that took. It was just blobs, carrot sticks, dots for the head, and then the arms and stuff, whatever, figure out what the arms are doing. It's all fun, and it's a great way to practice just gestured people. And I really enjoy doing this sometimes. If you're waiting for something in your sketchbook, and you don't have to even do this with paint. You can do this with just your pencil. You can take a pencil and then just do blobs with a pencil. And just go like this, and then just do your heads, and then just kind of blob it up, and then make the legs, make the head, and then look to see what these people could be doing, because you got to give them something. They're not all like this. They're on that all hang, like arms are out and the head. Let's do this with paint, but they're not all like this, because this is what you guys do. Then you put your arms out sideways. And it looks very, like they're just standing in a row, and it's just one person, always very, very detailed, and they really want to make sure that they look a certain way, like you're thinking about that. When I'm doing these, I'm not thinking about exactly when I put in the blob and what they're wearing or stuff like that. I'm just putting down a blob and then making something out of that blob. And I know that the arms are on this side, and like again, you can. Here I'm just going to put it in a person. I'm just going to put him next to there. And this person has a dog. And so the dog maybe has, the tail and then the head. It's just, you're gesturing an outer image of something. You're not doing detail. Though after you get it to this point, it's nice to do that to make it give it more detail. And then a lot of times you have to look in the scene, what's happening in the scene. Is it a sunny day? And if sometimes you just have a little bit of shadow underneath, like right where their legs hit the ground, there's a little bit of shadow, and or there's long shadows. Maybe the sun's coming this way. Maybe the sun's coming this way, and so then we put long shadows in there. See, we just go like this and put long shadows. So they put them on the ground, right? And don't worry about the colors you're using so much as you're just gesturing and just trying to make it look like a bunch of people, and it looks like people compared to just doing really tight people. It's just a gesture. And also you can also make it look like the street is like up here. I made it look like it's a reflection in a wet street. So maybe it's a wet street, and so, or a lot of times the streets are shiny because they're basically concrete and they've been smoothed out so much that you can see a reflection. It's not even that it's wet, but it's that it's shiny. The concrete is shiny. That happens a lot of times, even in a street like a pavement, blacktop. When the cars are going, you can see a reflection, not a shadow. That's a reflection. So there's a difference between the reflection and shadows. But see how it is a reflection. You can even put the little, make it really light type of thing. And this is fun thing to do to practice doing gestured people. And we're going to be doing a lot of them in our painting this week on this Thursday. But something that Robert Wade had taught me, and he called them Bob's Blobs. I call them David's Dabs. They're just dabbing people, just little gestures of people, and it's so much fun to learn how to see dimensionally how big their top are, how long their legs are, and all that is just by practicing. And like if you're ever out in the street and you're out there with your sketchbook, I've done it a couple of times where I just sit there and I start sketching people as they walk by, and I look at their dimension and what they're wearing and what they have with them, backpacks, briefcases, paper bags, strollers. You can do a stroller with a baby or a baby pack. The baby's on them. There's so many things. It could be a fanny pack. All this stuff is like everybody has something different. So you just put that into your little sketches or your little sketches depending on what your blobs start out with. All right, so we're going to be doing this Thursday on our painting, which is going to be of a lot of people on a street. And we're going to be doing that on Thursday at my paint-alongs, which I do every Thursday. I paint along, and if you don't have my newsletter yet, and you saw this just through like Facebook or Instagram, then sign up for my newsletter, and you get these little videos every week, little practice things. And then on Thursday we do a paint-along where I give you a painting picture, and then you go ahead and paint it. And we're going to have a lot of these in there. All right. So until Thursday, we'll see you then, and have fun gesturing some people. All right, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.